Hello and welcome. I'm Bonnie Graves and I'm continuing my journey around the beautiful Edna Valley, and I'm in the appropriate spot, Edna Valley Vineyards, talking with winemaker Josh Baker. Hello, Josh.
Hi.
All right, Edna Valley. We've been having this conversation. Most Californians, even people from this region, are not totally certain where on earth, who's this lady Edna, where's her valley, is it near Napa, is it by Paso? So help locate for people where exactly we are in California.
Yeah, so it's relatively easy actually, just about halfway between San Francisco and Los Angeles, literally just about 4 hours from each and right against the coast. So as the crow flies, just maybe 5 miles from the Pacific.
Well, and I think that's really important to understanding not just the varieties that thrive in this type of climate, but the impact of the ocean in general, kind of on the climate, on the culture, etc. So we're in the area where there's quite a lot of fog in the morning, but wonderful sort of daytime sunshine, and then really cool at night, which leads us away from Zinfandel, away from Syrah, and into what types of grapes? So tell us what does that.
So cool climate varieties. Yeah, it's interesting. The valley itself is an east-west facing valley, and actually an old estuary. So it opens right up to Morro Bay. So we get a lot of that marine influence that you're talking about. Pretty much, you can set your watch by it. Foggy overnight, 11 o'clock. Nice sunny blue skies, 75 to 85 even during the hottest parts of the year. Wind starts to blow at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon every day, which is great for us. Dries things back out again, and then we start the cycle over again.
Perfect. So we're really talking about Pinot Noir. We're talking about Chardonnay.
Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Sauvignon Blanc does well, Syrah does well, but Chardonnay particularly.
It's interesting, the Syrah from this area, John Albin, who's really quite a legend in the Edna Valley and in California winemaking in general, makes some fantastic Syrahs, of course, but they're Syrahs that have much more in common with sort of northern Rhone styles of Côte Rôtie, of Cornas. They're really worlds apart from those sort of jammy, fruit bomb, Barossa Valley, Shiraz styles. So again, certain grapes thrive certain places, but that sense of place and climate is always really going to kind of have the final say on how the wine speaks in the glass. So one thing we talk about is impact of winemaker. I mean, as a winemaker working with some of this great climate and this great fruit, do you try to get really involved and hands-on, or are you one of those guys who says, let's let the vineyard talk?
I think I would.
You make a lot of wine.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that I'm kind of one of those guys who lets the vineyard talk. That's something that's important to me. I think that we do source grapes from a place that's special, and we feel like Chardonnay, Pinot Noir wines in general that come from this area are special. And so I always kind of tell people that my job is to really not mess anything up. Bring the fruit in, keep it sound, do the smart thing.
Don't interfere too much.
And let the wine make itself, and that's really the way it's done.
Yeah, I like that expression, let the wine make itself. Let's talk a little bit about 2012. You said you're about maybe a quarter of the way into harvest, so thank you, by the way, for taking time out of your schedule. It's not totally crazy yet. You don't have the big shadows.
No, not too bad yet.
How is 2012 looking? I'm hearing great things about Pinot Noir this year.
It looks great. Pinot Noir looks incredible. In the valley here, Pinot Noir always does well for us. It's an early ripening variety, so we don't run into...
What kind of clone? We'll geek out here. What kind of clones are you working with?
We've got typically lots of 2A, 667, 777, and 115. So mostly Dijon clones, but some 2A as well.
So for people, we're not talking attack of the clones here. We're talking different Pinot Noir clone varieties. A lot of people don't really understand that part of building a Pinot Noir product, a finished product, is actually blending those clonal material selections from the vineyard itself. And some bring aromatics, some bring structure, some bring acidity. But
the key thing is getting a multitude of those varieties, those clones in to make a nice complex Pinot Noir.
Attack of the Pinot clones.
Yeah.
Chardonnay. I think one of the things I love about the Chardonnays from this region is acidity. So when we're talking about Chardonnay, it's kind of gotten a bad rap over the years. A number of people who will say to me as a sommelier, I don't like white wine. I say, what you don't like is really crappy industrial Chardonnay
or cloying whites.
That feels like you're chewing on a piece of 2x4, etc. I think Chardonnay, even for me as my own personal drinking, we're kind of rediscovering California Chardonnay, particularly those from areas like this that have that beautiful bracing acidity. So what are you looking for when you're creating Chardonnay?
I love acid, and I think it's a theme through all of our wines. When you make Chardonnay from a cool climate, that's one of the things that you kind of just get ingrained with is a decent amount of acidity, and we try and embrace it. We do a lot of things to try and build mouthfeel in the middle of the palate, but really play on the minerality and the acidity.
What type of oak are you using, or what kind of choices you're making?
Most of the we make a multitude of Chardonnays, but we typically everything's French oak. We range from completely neutral all the way up to about 60% on our reserve program.
Yeah, and we want to clarify that a little because, again, that's another piece that consumers sometimes are like, well, how did this wine come to be? In fact, we've got a Chardonnay right in our glass we should talk about here. This is the 2010 Paragon Vineyard Chardonnay.
Yep.
So, again, when you're building a Chardonnay, you're looking for that acidity, you're looking for the ripeness of fruit. Oak is a part of it, but, again, I think a lot of people don't really understand that that's one of the winemaking choices. The best metaphor is maybe making a soup. You've got your stock, you've got just a little bit of that bay leaf, just enough of that green herb or something. And that's kind of what the oak is meant to do, is maybe add a certain spice or herbal element to it, a certain sort of structure, but not be the only thing that you're tasting in the glass.
Exactly right. I always say that it's kind of like the winemaker's spice cabinet.
Yeah, it is.
You know, we use different coopers from different areas in France and that sort of thing to really try and build complexity throughout all the wines, Chardonnay included.
Well, let's take a minute and get into this wine. Smell what's in our glass. And
so this is our Paragon Chardonnay. The idea behind this wine really is to make a wine that's appealing to all sorts of white wine drinkers. So I always say this wine is probably the most open to perception of any of the wines that we make. If you're a consumer who loves oak, it's got plenty. If you don't necessarily like oak, it doesn't have too much. It's got a little bit of that buttery characteristic that people associate with Chardonnay, but not too much. Just about 35% to dork out a little bit. Just about 35% malolactic, 35% to give a little bit of that buttery component, but not too much.
All right, let's be geeky for just a minute because this is the right type of guy to be talking about it. Malolactic fermentation. Say it 3 times fast. Malolactic. And when I teach about wine, particularly Chardonnay is the perfect grape to sort of explain what this miraculous process is. You're taking malic acids, and the way that I often teach about that is with crunchy green Granny Smith cold apples. Everybody knows you take a big bite of that searing Granny Smith green apple. That's the malic acid.
Yep.
Opposite side of the equation, lactic acids. You're talking about milk-based, dairy-based acids. So that's where that buttery, the most overused word in the history of winemaking, buttery.
Especially
jammy also. Yeah, exactly. But that's where that expression comes from, really, I think, is that sense of those sort of lactic acids, which are, you know, dairy-based, creamy, buttery, milky type acids. So the whole journey that the wine is making from malic all the way malolactic to the lactic side of the equation, how much of that you do as a winemaker is another sort of choice that you're making. Are all of those acids turned into creamy acids, or do you stop at 50? Do you stop at 35? Do you go 75? And so here you said it was about how much?
About 35. Okay. In this vintage. The way we do it is really trying to utilize malolactic fermentation as a means to balance overall acidity. So in a very ripe year, we might do a little bit less because we know we're going to have bigger textures, bigger flavors. Exactly. In an underripe year, when acids are higher, malics are higher, we'll do a little bit more to try and get the wine to balance itself out.
Further. Let's talk a little bit about this beautiful place that we're at, by the way. We've been talking geeky. To bring it back to people who are maybe casual wine enthusiasts or just getting to know the area, we're in the Edna Valley, which is gorgeous. Really only about, like 10 minutes from Pismo Beach. So one of the things we're talking about a lot is amazing surf, amazing wine. Repeat, amazing surf, amazing wine. You know, that you can have this experience. Who are the people that you're seeing that are coming through your tasting room doors? Who are your buyers? Who are the people that you're seeing?
We've got a really great mix. You know, Edna Valley's got a great reputation locally, so we get, you know, a lot of return customers, which is great. But we get a lot of tourists too, who spend a lot of time in Pismo Beach and all over the coast and just kind of cruise through. When I'm talking about the winery, and you know, I always get the question, "Oh, this must be just kind of a dream job," and really it is. I mean, there's not a lot of places where you can, you know, surf in the morning, come to work, make wine all day, and then do a night scuba dive before you go home, or, you know, do a barbecue on the beach, something like that. So it's an amazing, amazing place.
I think one of the phrases that's come up quite a bit is classic California. So when you're talking about California dreaming for people who, you know, aren't blessed to live right here, like, you know, I do or you do, that there's that opportunity to really experience kind of the classic, you know, the idea of the surfboard in the back of the old Woody station wagon, drink a little Chardonnay, you know, clam bake on the beach. That's actually what people do on a daily basis here. So it is nice work if you can get it.
It's a dream job. You bet.
Yeah, Edna Valley Vineyards. I've been talking with Josh Baker, really one of the nicest winemakers around this area, and definitely worth the stop. This is a beautiful, beautiful venue too. I mean, just gorgeous vineyards and beautiful tasting room, lots of great wine to try. So we hope you'll stop by Edna Valley Vineyards in Edna Valley, California.